What Biden wants to change in real estate investing. Okay, President Biden is a Democrat. We had a Republican president with Donald Trump, and things in real estate investing has changed. I don't care whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or independent, you need to know this. I'm going to share exactly what Biden wants to change. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
I'm going to break down really quickly some of the changes that President Biden is proposing to change and how it affects real estate investing. I'm going to share with you what I think is the most important thing of all of the changes that have been proposed. And last but not least, I'm going to share with you my dirty little secret on how I'm going to make even more money under this presidency. Hi, I'm Noel Randall, real estate entrepreneur, mentor, and mom of 5. And as a long-time real estate investor, I can tell you I watch to make sure what the proposed changes are in real estate investing that affects me. I don't necessarily get into politics anymore. I used to care about who was the president and who was the governor and senators and all this other stuff. But as I have grown my income and changed my tax bracket, I can honestly tell you politics really does not mean that much in my life. I really don't focus on it very much. I really don't necessarily care who's the president and all that other stuff. In fact, I usually find that most of what is going on in politics is a complete waste of time to an entrepreneur. Now, again, I'm not being disrespectful. If you love the news and watching the news and politics, more power to you. But I'm just going to be really honest with you. As a millionaire entrepreneur, I really just don't care about politics. I only care how it affects me. So I'm going to talk to you about how this presidency and what some of the proposed changes are for real estate investing and how they affect me and what I plan to do about it. Real estate investing has changed my life. I have lots of rental properties, both short-term and long-term rental properties, meaning I have real estate that is vacant and unfurnished that I rent out, like apartments. I also furnish them and put, the towels and the forks and the knives, and we put some of those properties on Airbnb, and that is a very profitable model for me. In fact, I make more money off of my long-term rentals than I do with my short-term rentals. I also do rental arbitrage where I don't even have to own the properties. I lease properties and then I still get some of those to cash flow. So I have a really diverse mix of properties in my portfolio. I have condos, I have apartments, I have single-family homes, and I even have timeshares and things like that. Basically, if it's real estate and I can make money, I have it in my portfolio. And now that I'm focused on bigger apartment buildings and really scaling the business where it's hundreds of millions of dollars, my whole focus has changed, but I still care about real estate investing and what laws affect what I am doing. So this is the only reason why we even would care. So no, for the future, you do not care about politics. You couldn't care less who's the president, only about the changes and how they affect you. So let me tell you just a couple of the changes and how we're affected and what you'll do about them. So the first major change proposed by the Biden administration is the elimination of the bonus depreciation. Now, I know I said a mouthful there. The elimination of the bonus depreciation. Let me tell you what that means. As a real estate investor, we are allowed to depreciate things for a very long time. Big purchases, for example, if we refurnished a property or if I remodeled a property or if I did something really big like landscaping, I could depreciate that on my tax return over a very long period of time. There's a bonus depreciation. So of course you're able to write down, depreciation of assets that you have and take that as a tax credit. So one of the major benefits for a real estate investor, especially in the tax world with tax credits and tax loopholes, is the fact that we can do this bonus depreciation. So under the Trump administration, there was something called the TCJ Act, which stands for Tax Credit and Jobs Act. President Trump had put in an act that allowed you to do bonus depreciation and had a lot of benefits for some higher level people. Just being really honest with you. Not saying I'm a Republican or a Democrat, just telling you honestly, there was a lot of things in the Tax Credit and Job Acts that helped real estate investors. And one of them was the bonus depreciation because it allowed us to write off even more than we normally are able to. This allowed me to do renovation projects, and it did actually incentivize real estate investors to make investments in their properties because we had that tax credit. So if there was a time where I was thinking of changing out all the appliances or doing a renovation on my property, this was a big incentive because I had that tax credit where I knew I would be able to write off a lot of those purchase costs. And so this was an amazing benefit. The Biden administration has proposed eliminating this bonus depreciation. This is a big deal because, like I said, as a real estate investor, this was a big incentive for us to do projects on our properties. Now, because the Biden administration has done some other things and we have some really low interest rates and things like that, I'm just going to move to something else. But this is a big deal. Having that credit or that bonus depreciation no longer be a tax credit is going to take away some of the incentive of other real estate investors to do some of these bigger projects. So it's something that is very important that you know. Let me tell you the next thing. Number 2, the elimination of 1031 exchanges. This is a big change that is proposed. Like I said, the Biden administration has proposed eliminating a 1031 exchange. This is a big deal, huge. Even before I started investing in real estate, I think the 1031 exchange, I want to say came out like in the 1920s. It is this awesome, amazing thing for real estate investors that allows us to not pay taxes on our profits when we sell an investment property. It's something that most people have no idea about even exists, and it is a multi-billion-dollar business. So let me give you a quick example of how this all works and the proposed elimination of 1031 exchanges. So say, for example, I have a rental property and I decide to sell it. When I sell that rental property, the profits that I make, so say I'm making $30,000 and that's the money that's going to come to me after I sell it. Those are considered capital gains or profits on that property. And I would have to pay taxes on that money because obviously that's income. Well, with a 1031 exchange, instead of that $30,000 coming to me, the money would be sent to someone called a qualified intermediary, a QI, meaning an unrelated third party to the transaction. This person would just hold my profits, and within a certain amount of time, I have to buy another rental property with that money, and then I am not taxed. It is called a 1031 exchange, meaning I am exchanging one investment property for another. So when I sell a rental property, the money that I make for it, if I buy another rental property or another investment with it, then I don't have to pay taxes on it. It's an amazing thing for real estate investors, and it's a whole business, okay? This is an entire business. Qualified intermediary companies make a ton of money, and it's a great business to be in, and it's a way that wealthy people keep more of the money that they make. So this proposed change actually is huge, but most people really are not talking about it. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't think he's going to actually make this change. Again, I could be completely wrong. We'll see. Obviously, this is a recording and we will find out if Noel was right. But like I said, 1031 exchanges have been around for so many years, and so many investors use this as a tool to buy more investment properties, and it does incentivize real estate investing. I honestly, again, not getting into politics, I don't think this is one that should happen. We will see. But this is going to be huge if it does go into effect. If it does go into effect, then I probably, again, won't be able to use a 1031 exchange anymore. Also, that entire industry of 1031 exchanges with qualified intermediaries and those whole companies, that whole industry would be gone. Again, not sure if it's actually going to go through. We'll see. And here is the most important change proposed by the Biden industry. And I actually love this proposal, even though I don't qualify. The Biden administration has proposed a $15,000 first-time home buyer credit. I think this is absolutely amazing. As you may already know, millennials are not buying homes at the rate that they used to. As a person that just turned 40, I don't think I'm a millennial, and I own tons of real estate. But I think that generation below me is really having a hard time getting finance for real estate, and also have no real interest in owning real estate because they're a very mobile generation. People like moving around a lot more. So this proposal from the Biden administration is very timely, and I think it will boost the economy. Like I said, Noel is a real estate entrepreneur, but I also have a master's degree from Penn State in economic development, and my education has trained me to know that these type of incentives will improve the housing market and the housing economy overall. I think this is a great proposal, and I hope that this one does go through. I think that more people should be incentivized to buy homes, especially first-time home buyers. We have so many people that have student loan debts and things like that, and they're not able to qualify for a home, even though they're able to pay rent, which kind of lets you know if someone's able to pay rent, they should also be able to pay their mortgage. But I'm not going to necessarily get into that because, like I said, I don't do politics. But anyway, the point of this is that this is a really great proposal, and this is going to really bring more people into the market, and a lot of people are going to buy houses because of it. Once you couple this $15,000 tax credit with low interest rates, right now we're seeing interest rates below 3% on a 30-year fixed, which is unheard of and super low. Millennials and groups like that will be able to afford more housing, and this tax credit will incentivize them to go buy housing. So this is going to be a great opportunity for real estate, but just know it's going to create more competition. I have written an entire book that I'm giving away to you absolutely free, where I teach all of this. My new book, Real Estate Millionaire Secrets, is absolutely free. If you go to noellsfreebook.com, that's Noelle, Noelle with an S, noellsfreebook.com. Again, I have written this book and poured my heart into teaching you real estate investing, how to start from zero with bad credit and no money, and become a multimillionaire in real estate. I give you checklists, tools, resources, and everything that I did and used to become the person that you see today. I just want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle, to your success.